and welcome to Wild on 6TV, the Oxford channel. I'm Sasha Norris, and on this week's Wild I've been down to the St Tiggy Winkles Wildlife Hospital in Haddenham near Aylesbury, where I've been meeting all things fluffy, spiky, sniffy and not very well. Well, we're standing in one of the fields at St Tiggy Winkles Wildlife Hospital near Aylesbury, and I'm joined by celebrity animal lover. What should I call you? Les Stocker.
Yes.
And Les, I used to read your books years and years ago. Something in a cardboard
I'm glad
box.
somebody did. I mean,
yeah. Very sweet, very touching. What you've done. I mean, How did it all start? You look after wild animals here.
Yeah. It's just something, you know, as you're saying, something in the cardboard box. It was how it started. Was I just wanted to look. I saw all these injured animals, wild animals, and nobody was bothering to look after them. Nobody knew how to look after them, or even seemed to care. And a couple of that I picked up over the years, and I suddenly thought, you know, somebody ought to do something about this. So I just started taking them in as a hobby.
Right.
And,
what was your first animal?
It was a wood pigeon, actually, of all things. You know, I mean, good old. We still deal with wood pigeons, and I know people don't like wood pigeons, but wood pigeons are nice birds. They pair up for life, and they're nice to each other and that sort of thing. And they're big, strong birds. They're completely mad, but they're nice birds. So.
And what was wrong with your first wood pigeon?
I think he was hit by 3 cars. I think that was his problem. And you know, one of the quandaries that happened to people was that this pigeon had been hit by 3 cars. And if you've seen a wood pigeon hit by a car, all the feathers come out. Right. So this thing was a bit battered. But the problem at the time, nobody had anywhere to take it. They picked up a wood pigeon that was injured, obviously, and then nowhere to take it, nobody bothered.
You'd like to do something to help, but what do you do with it?
Yeah, so one of our jobs here is to be here so people can bring these animals and we can look after them. Oh, and there go your deer. Now, they're running around the field. You've got how many deer? Around 30, did you say? At the moment, yes. 30 deer, and they're mainly fallow deer, aren't they? You've got a couple of roe deer and a muntjac there. Now, they're all, loads of them are you've got loads of 3-legged deer, Les. Why have you got loads of 3-legged deer? Well, we get them. What happens to them is they get caught on fences. They'll jump over. You know, you're out in the countryside. You got the sort of pig fence, and you got 2 strands of wire at the top. Yeah. They go to the top. They jump over, get their back leg caught in it, and hang until somebody finds them. Then we get them in here, and then they find that the back leg is actually everything's been severed, and it's actually dead. So we take the leg off. That's a very common cause of death for deer, isn't it? That they actually jump over fences, and I think being chased by dogs. Domestic dogs over fences is quite... And I suppose this is a kind of stark reminder to people not to let their dogs chase wildlife, because it might seem all fun and games. Well, it's appalling, and because you can see these deer have got they've got no sense at all. And if a dog's chasing them, if anybody's chasing them or anything, they just panic, the deer, and all sense goes out the window, and they'll try and jump fences, get themselves tangled up. Well, I guess that's their response, isn't it? That's their evolved strategy to get away, is to just run and run and run. They're very fast. I mean, even on 3 legs. I know. They're pretty damn fast, aren't they? You would try and catch one on 3 legs, you know, they're pretty damn fast, and that's the way they do. And you get things like the muntjac, which are the smaller deer. They'll try and go through the fences, so we get them stuck in halfway through, you know, or go through metal railings and get stuck halfway, because they're sort of pointed like that, so the front end goes through and they get stuck at the back, you know. And it does a lot of internal damage, those sort of situations. So, as I say, you lose the legs. Our vet, who's wonderful, he's a specialist in zoo and wild animal medicine. He says, also let the 3-legged go, but I'm a little bit soft, and I like to keep them here. Because he thinks that maybe if you release them back into wild, which is your eventual aim with all animals you try and deal with here, is to release them back. But he thinks they might survive, they might be all right. They probably will be okay. I mean, they're as fast as normal deer, but I just feel that I just want to mother them a little bit, I think. You're a bit soft. Now, we started with your pigeon. Did your pigeon have a name? Woody, I think. Woody, Woody, okay, you know, Woody. Yeah, good, imaginative there. But I mean, I get you've got more imaginative over the years. How many animals have you dealt with? I was working out the other day. It must be over 100,000. Sort of 20 years I've been doing it, you know. So it's easily got to be over 100,000. Wow. I'd dread to think, you know, but. And that's amazing. And are most of the injuries you see with the animals, are they from human causes? Yeah, afraid so. Yeah, I think 95% of the casualties are caused by humans in one way or another, either directly with accidentally hit them with a car, or their cat has gone and done some damage, you know. So it's all I don't know, when humans came to Britain 50,000 years ago, when there was no humans here, the animals would have been fine. This 95% would have been okay.
So a lot of people might say, oh, you're a bit soft, you know, you should, you know, live and let die or whatever, you know, something's damaged. But what you're saying is actually most of these injuries are caused by people anyway, and therefore, you know, we should take responsibility for that.
I think so, yeah. It's trying to redress the balance because of our impact on the environment, I think. But humans have got one characteristic that animals haven't got, and humans have got compassion. And I think you see an injured animal, most humans have got compassion, and they just want to help that animal, you know.
Yeah.
And, I think that's just as important as trying to redress the balance.
Come on. Come on, you little snoodle. Look, it's quite nice really. Oh, is there too much straw in it, dear? Come on. You're having a nice time, aren't you? Now this deer is extremely tame. The reason it's here is because of that. Because it was brought in... Was it found in a garden, Les?
Yeah.
Found in a garden. Whereabouts? Chesham. And now he's stuck in here because he can't really be released. He keeps wandering up to people and going in their gardens and being a nuisance. So he's testament to it's not that brilliant an idea to tame animals from the wild unless you've got a really good reason to do it. And especially not to tame them and then let them go, because they'll tend to keep coming back and trying to find people and often get themselves into trouble. He doesn't seem to be too unhappy, mind you, in here, but... Hello, you. Les, we've got a fox in here, looking a bit sorry for itself.
Yes, he had an operation yesterday. He's lost his tail. When his tail came in, it was really badly bitten and torn up and horrible. So yesterday the vet amputated his tail. But he'll be okay without a tail.
Will he be able to be released back into
Yes,
the
yeah, he'll be fine.
Oh, he's looking at us. This is a completely wild fox.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's come straight out of the wild and into your hospital to be looked after.
You go near him, he'll bite you. You know, that's what foxes do.
We won't go near him then, but he's being quite placid, isn't he?
Yeah, he's eating all his food by the looks of it. And, they calm quite, you know, when they come in here they go very calm and just seem to accept it. They don't go potty or anything, they just accept it.
Look at his black ears. Do they all have black ears like that? Or?
Yeah, yeah. They're very handsome, aren't they?
No, beautiful. Have a look at your badge. You've got a couple of badges.
Yeah, the one at the top.
And we just started.
There's on the drip. Oh, yeah.
Oh, is he? Oh, he's sitting up. Oh, look, there we go. Oh, is he hissing at us?
Yes.
Oh, he's whining. Are you growling at us?
They're very clever, the foxes are. The badgers are not so clever.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that your considered opinion then?
Oh, they're great animals, but they're not very bright.
Don't say anything bad about badgers.
Well, they do their own thing. They don't. A fox will keep out of the way and watch when he crosses the road. He'll take care to cross the road. Badgers just go and say, "You've got to get out of my way," and that's where they lose out. You know, they're not frightened of anything, yeah, and everything.
They're quite strong, aren't they?
Yeah, incredibly strong.
Sorry.
Nothing's going to harm a badger, only a car, you know.
Yeah.
He's been hurt by other badgers. This is where badgers bite each other on the rump like that.
Right.
And he's had his ears ripped off, but he's been found in somebody's barn this morning. So
is there any reason why that would happen this time of year?
Oh yeah, they always give birth in February, badgers. So it's the men fighting over the women, I think, and so they end up fighting.
Right. And what's happened to this badger down here? You've got one that looks a bit less gruesome down here. Do you think he'll make it?
Might do. He's on a drip at the moment, so there's a hope.
Is that why he looks so sorry for himself?
He's only just come in, yeah, this morning.
Oh,
so.
Really?
And this one's road traffic accident. So what's the injuries?
He looks like a classic Brock, doesn't he? Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. He's got a bit of head damage, so he's a bit rocky.
So he's been in a car accident.
Yeah, and that's probably the most common injury we see in badgers. But they're very, very strong, very tough animals.
Do you think he'll be okay? Any ideas?
Difficult to say it's brain injury, it's just whether he learns to control his brain and his movements. We've had brain injuries before and we've taken them to neurological surgeons and they sort of said, give it 9 months and see if the 9 months, you know, the animal's used up the bit of brain he hasn't used before and has learned to cope, so it can go 9 months before we can find out for sure.
It's a bit like a human, when a human has a head injury, you just have to wait and see kind of how they react and what they can and can't do. If you can't be released into the wild, you've got your own badger set that you've built here. 2 sets here, 2 big badger pens that they can go and live there. And it's, in captivity they seem to accept each other. In the wild they kill each other. In captivity they accept each other and they'll settle in together. Right, so I guess they've got enough food so there's not so much.
It's possible, reason to compete. There's another animal psychology there, isn't
Sorry,
it?
I can't help it.
No, because it came up, I've just done a badger paper for America because they've got badgers over there, different badger trials, as you know, different badger trials. But they want to do rehabilitation on them, but they haven't quite got to grips with it. So I've done a badger paper about these badgers for them over there. And we were talking yesterday about why the badgers in captivity, you can mix them and they'll all match and they'll all big cuddle. They're great cuddlers. But in the wild, they'll kill each other, you know, but why in captivity?
So it's probably, well, I mean, my answer to that would be that probably in the wild they will fight when there are scarcity of resources. So when there isn't enough to eat, they have to drive the other ones away. Or, like you say, when they're fighting over mates, only one of them can get to mate potentially, or you know, only one of them wants to be the one that fathers the young. They'll drive the others away. But when you're in captivity and there's loads of food, there's plenty to eat, you don't have to, they cuddle.
I mean, that's not a scientific term, but they cuddle, they really do.
I mean, it's like humans are much more peaceful, they're much less likely to have wars when there's enough resources, when the economy's doing well and everyone's well fed and... Right, what else?
Okay, sorry.
No, that's all right.
Oh, is it?
Fascinating.
There's one cat here.
In part 2 there'll be loads more sniffing.
He's had a head injury, so he's not quite straight in the head.
Oh.
So I keep him here. I'm going to build him a big pen. He might bite.
Might he?
Yeah.
He's going to bite me.
But aren't they wonderful?
Yeah.
Aren't they absolutely wonderful?
Will he bite hard or will he?
Yes, he probably will.
He will. He's quite.
I don't know. We don't handle him as such.
They're little hunters, aren't they? They will hunt small mammals and.
They'll hunt rabbits, won't they?
Oh,
yeah, he'll take a full-grown rabbit if he was fully compos mentis.
Stoat.
Yes. Got a black tip to the tail.
Yeah.
Because I always think
Are they easily distinguishable from totally different?
Yeah.
Are they? Have you got?
I always think it was the in the royal robes where they got the white ermine, which is a stoat. You've always got those little black dots, haven't you? That's the black tips of the tail. So.
Right.
That reminds me.
Right.
Well, he's just much smaller, much faster.
You're very, very clever, aren't you? He's
very, these are lovely animals. We don't see enough of them.
No, they're lovely.
Because they all died out after myxomatosis, didn't they?
Right, when the rabbits were killed off, they didn't see some rabbits.
So we see a lot more weasels than we do stoats, but he's just a little bit wonky in the head, so I just keep him here so that he hasn't got to fight for a living. 1983, I can't remember, 1984 or 5, there was a tremendous drought, and we just went out to people and said to people, please put some water out for your hedgehogs at night because they've got nothing to drink, you know. I don't want to get milk, I want water. And then people were phoning up and saying, yeah, we looked at our hedgehog, gave it some water, but it's got a leg hanging off or things like that, you know. So that's when hedgehogs really started to pick up. I mean, the first hedgehog I found after that tawny owl, it was full of maggots. It was an absolutely awful condition. The poor thing was really suffering. I didn't know what to do. I could get no help at all with it, you know. But now
everyone was like, "What? You're a nutter."
Yeah, that's right. It was. That's it. The nutter on the corner. That's where it used to be. But But now we get, all during the summer, most wild animals that are injured, especially hedgehogs, have got maggots in them. But we now know how to deal with them. We've learnt over
Why do they have maggots in them?
Just that the flies, they're ideal for flies to lay their eggs on, you see.
And the flies literally lay their eggs on the skin and then the maggots
you
eat
get
the
them
skin.
covered in fly eggs, you know, you can see it, and
right.
you have to get them all off. But we now know how to deal with that situation. We've met it so many times, we know how to deal with it, and we can tell other people how to do it. So all around the country now, the hedgehog's pretty safe because there's so many people now can deal with injured hedgehogs that every hedgehog that's in, nearly every hedgehog that's injured can be picked up, somebody will look after it.
And are those people that you've been involved with training? And
well, we've helped them along. You know, I've written a few books about it, and they've read the books.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Yeah, of course. And if they've got any problems, they'll phone us up and we'll talk through it. We've got a woman coming down the weekend from the Wirral up in Cheshire. She's got a hedgehog that needs long-term treatment. Unfortunately, there's nobody up that way that could take it on long-term, so she's going to drive down this weekend, bring the hedgehog down to us, you know, and then stay overnight, and then she's going home and leave the hedgehog with us, you see. So, so we can help out.
Yeah. Should we going to go and have a look at some of your hedgehogs?
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
okay.
We've got enough of them. Yeah.
Leave the deer there to calm down. It's all right. Spring is well and truly sprung, it's nearly Easter, and then they're breeding at the moment.
That's right.
In fact, last night I was walking in the park, in South Park, so there were hedgehogs everywhere, and they all sort of come out and kind of show off, don't they, and run around and try and find, and apparently they will mate with sort of several hedgehogs in one night. They're quite promiscuous, including the females will go and so, and like something you didn't know about hedgehogs. But anyway, so we've got this hedgehog, he's not curled up now.
No. But this little guy here, he's actually got a damaged leg at the back. Okay. It's very hard to see, but when he actually walks, you'll be able to see he drags this leg behind him, and we think he's broken a bone in his back leg.
Right.
So what we're going to do is apply a support bandage for him, and that will stay on for up to a week. And then we can just remove the bandage and just assess how he's using the leg.
Okay, so you're hoping that the leg will sort of set itself and fix itself?
That's right. I mean, it will take the fracture obviously up to maybe 4 up to 6 weeks to heal, but we do change the dressings regularly just to make sure that there's no other complications. See how that foot's dragging behind?
Oh
right?
dear, yes, I do. So, he looks a bit lopsided, doesn't he? He's having a good sniff around. It doesn't seem to be that frightened.
No. Well, they've got all the spikes, you see, so their main defence is to curl into a ball.
So when they're threatened and when you pick him up to have a look at his
I lift him
leg,
now.
He'll curl
see his
up.
head there, see?
Okay.
He automatically then tries to curl up.
Which makes it a bit difficult to help him, doesn't it?
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this little mask over his nose, give him a little whiff of gas, and then we can actually get the damaged leg, to put the bandage on.
Okay. Well, can I help you with anything?
You can. If you want to hold that,
right.
Just turn the gas on for me.
Just hold this like this?
Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll just pop that over his head. And just turn the ISO on there. This can take maybe up to a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to actually work. But then again, they will recover very rapidly in 2 to 3 minutes as well. Right, if you put the mask down on the table.
Okay, so he has to keep that over his face, does he?
Yeah, that's it. Right, and as you can see, then we can actually examine the little fella. Now we think this is the offending leg there.
Right.
And what we'll do is we'll just turn him over.
I'll
just
bring
if you hold that, and then Joe will just position that.
He's got a bit of a tick on him there, hasn't he?
He has. We can remove
That's
that.
quite common, isn't it?
It's quite common. 1 or 2 ticks on a hedgehog, we're not too bothered about. They will eventually, when they engorge themselves, they will eventually drop off. However, sometimes they have so many ticks, and obviously they can become anemic. In that case, then we have to remove them.
And what's that ticking?
That's actually the pulse oximeter. So if you look here, this is a machine that reads the actual oxygen level in the blood, and also the pulse rate. As you can see, it's 221, but it is very small.
That's a high pulse rate. What would a human's pulse be?
Normally, sort of, depending on how fit you are, normally about sort of 70 to 80.
Yeah. Oh, right, so that's really
higher
90 and then...
Yeah, mine's probably about 90.
Because it scales, doesn't it, with the size of the animal?
Yeah.
So larger animals have slower heart rates.
That's right.
And smaller animals have faster. And there's some amazing fact that we all have the same number of heartbeats in our life, or most mammals. So an elephant will have the same number of heartbeats as live a lot longer, beat very slowly. It's amazing, isn't it? It's one of those biological miracles.
Now, this little guy, he's had an old fracture there. This must have happened some time ago. He's got a bit of swelling just here. But the good thing is it's starting to heal. So what we'll do is we'll just put a support dressing on a couple of weeks and he should be fine.
Okay, good.
Alright, so...
What was your first job when you arrived?
First job was hedgehogs. We were going through the worming programme in hedgehogs. Basically everything, all the hedgehogs were on its 17 days worming programme. So it's all the late borns, isn't it? The too small to hibernate come in. Basically need to be fed up, so they all come in and they need to be wormed as well. For
late in the season.
And then they're too small, they're actually not up to weight.
The whole thing about these two litters, we don't know whether or not they're actually born in spring and they just haven't put on enough weight for the winter to hibernate.
Right,
whether that's
if you want to go into hibernation, you have to have some fat, because effectively you're not going to eat for most of the winter, so you have to have, and if you haven't got enough fat, you're likely to die. So you had some in that you sort of looked after, did you, over the winter? And the first thing you had to do was worm all these hedgehogs.
Yeah. So there we go, this little guy then, with a bandage.
Okay,
there.
good. So his heartbeat's still going away there.
Yeah.
We're going to take him off the gas now.
Yeah.
He'd be waking up in
been
into
taken off.
Oh, okay.
It's just on oxygen.
He's coming around now.
He's starting to pull back now. He's quite happy just lying there though.
Okay.
There we go. Starting to...
You've taken that off, I see.
Taking that off now because he's actually, when you actually lift him, you can see he's...
Oh, he's curling up.
Starting to curl up again. There's that little blue bandage.
So he must be awake. That's how you know.
So this little guy's going to be with us at least for another couple of weeks anyway. We'll be doing regular bandage changes as well, but that fracture's doing very well, and I reckon another 10 days, 2 weeks, and he'll be able to have the dressing off.
Where's he going now?
He's gone back into our hedgehog room now. We're all, yeah, we have a hedgehog room, all individual. We all have their own individual apartments.
Individual apartments,
yeah, with ensuite and kitchen.
Ensuite and kitchen. Sorry. Come on, hedgehog kitchen we're going to see. Hedgehog apartments.
No, we're all finished, might say.
Okay, this is the hedgehog suite.
Hedgehog, yes.
A hedgehog housing estate.
Yeah.
Where does... Stop sniggering, Scott.
He goes back in here.
Oh.
Right, where he's got his own little tile. These have all got
I bet
heat.
you do talk to them, don't you?
The heat pads, so they all have heat underneath. So
sorry, heated pad.
Yeah, a little heat pad. And just cover him over because he is there.
Lovely that you're covering
In the background. I always cover them over because they're nocturnal.
What do you think, Mum?
Oh, very sweet.
Yeah, it's lovely. Hedgehog apartments. Yeah.
all these hedgehogs are checked every.
Thanks for watching Wild on 6TV, the Oxford channel. If you've got a countryside story that you think we should be covering in your area, then do get in touch with me. You can phone me at the Oxford channel on 01865 55 7000. That's Oxford 55 7000. Or you can fax me on 01865 55 3355. Take care, until next time, keep it wild.